Hey everybody, back again to look at some more metal CDs I've been checking out lately. A couple brand new ones and a couple older ones. And we're going to start off with a brand new one, that being Muutatuja, the sixth and most recent full-length album by the Finnish band Oranssi Pazuzu, released in 2024 on Nuclear Blast. Oranssi Pazuzu are categorized as a avant-garde, weird black metal band, but especially when you look at their recent material, uh, outside of the black metal influence vocal, what's really black metal about the music? Almost nothing. And there's almost nothing metal about the music. It's just like metal musicians using metal instruments to just make very strange avant-garde music. The first three albums didn't do a whole lot for me, but the fourth album, the one that starts with a V, with the kind of the dark, it's like black with a bit of a blue or purple in there. That album really impressed me. I bought that one on iTunes back in the day, and it was in my car for months. Just very effective at just creating this swirling atmosphere. And it's not just some like cheap effect they put on the music to make it feel like you're swirling. Just something about the songs, the immersion of it. That was a really special album. And I was very eager to hear this one several years later. The album sounds like the cover looks, kind of monochromatic, hard to find out what's going on, very a murky affair here. What does make this one different is a bit of a kind of a electronic trip hop, I guess you would call it, influence, reminding me of Portishead, Massive Attack, and things like that. I guess the title track is probably my favorite song on here, but like not only does this album keep you hearing numerous new things every single time, but even more impressive than that, like I'll hear really cool things that I can't find later upon repeated listening. So that's why I like these guys. It just doesn't get old. And again, this one's going to be in my listening for the next several months, easy. The other brand new one we're going to look at today is Mother of Graves and their second full-length album, The Periapt of Absence. So this is an American band. I believe they are from Indiana. This came out on Profound Lore, and I first became aware of these guys back in 2021. Somewhere online, I saw that they had released an EP and that you should really check it out. So I did check it out, and I was very impressed. But this is the first thing I bought from the band, the second full-length album. Definitely doom metal meets death metal, but I wouldn't call it just a death doom album. Some parts are like straight up doom metal, some parts are straight up death metal, some parts seamlessly combine the two. A pretty mid-paced affair, I'd say. My favorites are Shatter the Visage and Upon Burdened Hands. You know, some parts kind of remind me of like a slightly faster and more extreme Paul Bearer. Other things are like straight up old school death metal. And the vocals in particular, for the first several listens, I kept saying like, who does this guy remind me of? It's very obvious, and I just can't put my finger on it. Like David Vincent a little bit, but it's not him. And then after like my third spin, it became pretty apparent that I was thinking of Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth and his more old school, early death metal vocals. So Mother of Graves, pretty awesome new band, and I look forward to what they do next. Not too long ago, I picked up this Drook album, Handful of Stars, their 8th full-length album. And a lot of fans consider this their worst album. It definitely is the most accessible, but to me it ranks in the upper half of the discography at least. So what you have here is an intro and an outro and 4 somewhat lengthy songs in the middle. The first real song on here, Downfall of the Epoch, has a striking resemblance to older Catatonia such as Braid Murder Day and Discouraged Ones. The songs like Towards the Light and Twilight Oriole, they both have short but very emotive, unique sounding guitar solos that I'm really into. And this album is known, I mean, I explained already that there are some Catatonia influences in here, but more than anything, a very obvious influence from old Alcest, which works for me because I love Alcest, especially the old stuff. So yeah, Drook, I only own several other albums, but I don't know, it's kind of coming together nicely. I hope to pick them all up eventually. And going back to a band that definitely has some Alcest influence, we're going to talk about the Portuguese band Gaera, and I think their third full-length album, Mirage. These guys were definitely creating a big buzz, and I bought this when I saw them live opening for Rotting Christ a couple years ago. I did enjoy their set. I'm not saying it blew my mind, but I was standing by the merch table and was enjoying myself, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna grab that CD. So I did, and I've had it for a couple years, but didn't spend a lot of time listening closely until just this month. My favorite tracks on here are probably the opener and the closer, Memoir and Laud. I think the second last track, Mantle, is also one of the best ones on here. And while more extreme than this sounds, there's a lot of post black metal influences from bands like Alcest and Death Heaven, but a little faster. Another band that this actually reminded me of quite a bit was Altar of Plague, kind of like Altar of Plague meets Alcest. And Gaera put out a new album. I've listened to that a couple times. I think it's pretty good, but definitely a bit of a more mainstream affair, a little bit slower, and I think some of the Alcest influence has been left by the wayside during some of the more mellow parts for maybe more of a slow dive influence thing. That's kind of what I thought, especially on the first track. So Gaera, Mirage, I think it's better than the new album, but the new album's good too. And I think it's about time I check out the first couple. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.